They'll run here with Raheem Mostert. And they're able to get this one across the 35. 12 yards on the gain. A great start for this offense. Well, there you go. This offense off to a strong start this afternoon.
Yeah, with a big run and a first down. That's putting what you practice into play. That's excellent execution to get things started.
And some room to work. Down the sideline he goes. And all the way in for a Miami touchdown. Well, if they didn't get the wake-up call before the game, they got it right now. 2 plays already in the end zone.
I think of it in boxing terms because whether it's a big shot with your first one or a probing one, a little bit of a jab, the second one was the payoff. That was the big one that landed. 1-2, end zone.
Point after, up and good. And it's now a 7-0 game. Devin Duvernay now returning from the end zone. And only able to get this to the 19, so probably should have opted for the touchback. Jackson and the Ravens come up now 1st and 10 at their own 19-yard line. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. And some space here. And he'll be hauled down at about the 30-yard line. Well, Lamar Jackson, I mean, he is just a ticking time bomb when he has got the football in his hands, and he explodes, Charles, for a big one there.
So there was the boom, huh? Because that's exactly what happened, right? And you can be in the right spot against him and not necessarily make the play. His talent is so good, and his ability to shift and move on a dime, he is so impressive. Even when you play it right, he can make you wrong.
Right back to Dobbins on first. Emmanuel Ogbah there on the stop.
They went right back to him, but he pretty much had nowhere to go on that play.
Yeah, the previous carry looked pretty good. That one, maybe he was a little tired. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe he should have tapped out and had a second back come in and maybe make that run. Who knows?
Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run. And now Jackson will look to throw it. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off by Deshaun Elliott. And the Dolphins are going to take over at their own 11-yard line. They'll start on the ground with Mostert. No gain on the play there. 2nd down.
All runners count on their eyes to find the gaps and creases, to find open space. There was absolutely none on that one. Totally swallowed up on that play.
2nd down throw for Thompson. And his throw here is incomplete.
As tight ends go, he might not provide the super flashy plays very often, but he's pretty reliable. Usually an excellent target and normally catches what's thrown to him, but he didn't on that play.
3rd and long, Thompson. And that is incomplete. Oh, he had a defender right there with him to force that to the ground. And 4th down now coming up.
Partner, we've got ourselves a ball game, and those guys on defense, they came to play. Slipped up on their first series, but they're definitely settling in now and letting it be known that points won't come so easy again.
Spinning past him. It's a 40-yard punt, but they lose yardage on the return. And the Ravens, they'll take over. The Baltimore offense at the line, set to get going. As the offense comes out here, Charles, remember they threw the interception last time out, but they were moving the football down the field. Looked like they were going to have a sustained drive that ended in points, but then the pick ensued.
And because of that, there's no way you can call the last drive a success. Yes, there are things to build on because they found some play calls that work. Now, they've got to build another drive and find a way to avoid the turnover the Plague did on the last one.
And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. 23 yards the pickup there. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Throwing is Jackson. He'll swing this out to Dobbins. And he's going to be taken down at about the 33. The Ravens had 0-1 on the year following the loss in the opener. And listen, they knew last week they were in for a tough fight on the road. But now here's the home opener and a chance to get things right.
And I like the way that you presented that, because the bottom line is they didn't come out of that loss discouraged. They just came home and said, hey, if we do what we're supposed to do, protect our home turf, we'll be just fine.
On 1st and 10, it's Dobbins. And not much. Maybe a yard down to the 23.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority, because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
Now Dobbins again on 2nd down. And able to get about 3 as he's taken down right at the 20.
Well, that call makes sense, because they've been throwing it well on this drive, and once again they show passing formation, showing the shotgun. Then they ran out of it. That's a nice play by them defensively, though, to hold it to a short gain.
On 3rd down, Jackson. Flush, and he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. Emmanuel Ogbah that time, able to drop him for a loss. So Jackson will head to the Ravens sideline, and on comes Justin Tucker for the field goal try. This one from 48 yards away. Tucker's kick is good, and they are on the board, but still trailing. It's 7-3. So they're able to end that drive with 3 points in this one-possession ball game.
And ideally, you want to end every drive with points. Most quarterbacks would tell you, let's end it with a kick, right? A PAT, that's number 1. Field goal you'll take. Punts, you really don't want to do that. In this case, they'll take the field goal and get prepared for the rest of the game.
And ultimately cannot get this out to the 25-yard line as he's dropped at the 23. The Dolphins at the line, ready for their next drive. Obviously not the intended goal last drive. They had to punt the football, but still, they've got the lead here, and now a chance to add on to that lead if they can get points on this drive. 1st and 10 upcoming. After one, 7-3 the score on EA Sports. Working with a 2nd and 4. Once again, it's Mostert. And he'll earn a couple of tough yards past the 30 to the 31. Well done to sniff that out defensively. He had it diagnosed pretty quickly.
I love that description, because diagnosed is perfect on that one. Read his keys, made the play, and he couldn't even get going moving the football.
He's got the 1st down and more. And he has a big gain inside the 40 before being dropped. Well, they only needed a small gain on 3rd down. They end up getting over 30 yards. So how about that for a chain mover? They're all the way down inside the 40 now for 1st and 10. Here's a handoff to Mostert running left. He'll be hit down at the 33, 5 yards on the play.
And that's exactly what you want on a 1st down run. Pick up 5 yards, bring up 2nd and 5. The defensive line, though, they've got to figure out a way to out-leverage the guys up front, because the offensive line is winning at the point of attack.
And he's dropped just before the line to gain. 4-yard pickup leaves him with 3rd and 1.
On any running play that's called, they're always hoping that it's going to break big and go the distance. But when you get a nice gain like that, you're able to do so many things anyway. You can come back and run essentially the same play again, continue to move the ball on the ground, or you can decide to throw the ball now, because usually you have the defense back on its heels.
On 1st and 10, it's Mostert. And he edges forward, but only gets a pair of yards out of it, and it's 2nd down.
Certainly a nice job there by the defense, rallying to the football and getting him on the ground, but I think the play gets made by the defensive front, because if they can't get upfield, their job is to go ahead and get low, almost get into a ball sometimes, stack things up, and make it difficult for the runner to find a hole.
So 5 yards here, 5 on the play. And now we've got a 3rd and 4. From the gun, it's Thompson. Getting this out to the flat, Mostert. And he is going to have the Dolphins first down, although it doesn't appear to be by much. He needed 4, and he got 4 on third down. From the 13 now, they work on 1st and 10. Back to the running game with Mostert.
And he's going to be hemmed in and brought down right at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down.
Running the counter with Mostert. And here he'll get it down to the 7.
Call it a gain of 5 that time, and they'll be left with a 3rd and about 4.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown, because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
Throwing there, but this pass is going to wind up incomplete.
And that drive's going pretty darn well. 3 previous times converted on 3rd down, but on that one, the defense rolls up and said enough of that.
And his kick is indeed good, and they push the lead up to a touchdown now at 10-3.
So a nice kick there as they add 3 to the lead.
And from what I've seen so far, Brandon, I think they've been the better of the two teams here in the first half. So even though you want the touchdown, I think that's a nice job there to put 3 points on the board.
Duvernay now going to bring it out. And the decision to come out of the end zone is going to cost him 5 yards as he's taken down right at the 20.
Now a stoppage here as it looks like we've got a Dolphins shaking up on the play.
The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. Just a lone field goal for them so far, trailing 10-3 as they come up 1st and 10. And that'll be complete to Dobbins. And they'll get 8 out of this before being stopped at the 28. Our score 10-3 with 2 minutes remaining in quarter number 2. Line of scrimmage, the 28 now as they come up on 2nd and a couple. Jackson. Targeting Dobbins again, and he's got it again. And they're able to get this one across the 35. 10 yards there, good enough for a Raven first down.
Well, it certainly made a point of getting him involved in the passing game here in the first half. They must have seen something in the scouting that said, hey, we can capitalize on him getting the ball, possibly in the open field. And I think in the second half, that may loosen up the defense a little bit to get the running game going back inside.
This offense hoping to avoid the 0-2 start. They trail, but they've got a 1st and 10 here. Here's Jackson. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
I know he was trying to get the completion downfield, but the way this game has gone, with a few of the runs he's made along the way, he should have kept the ball and taken it with his feet downfield. That's the big play that shreds the defense. Instead, he thought to himself, I'm a quarterback, I've got to throw it. He bailed out the defense with that incompletion.
They do get a yard there, but only a yard. Leaves them with 3rd and 9 looming.
As a defense, you're more balanced when you're in zone coverage because you're able to keep your eyes on the quarterback and see the play develop in front of you. They're able to keep the quick pass in front of them and stop it right at the line of scrimmage.
Now the Ravens going to use one of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with just under 50 seconds remaining in half number 1. Dolphins bring on an extra defensive back on 3rd down. And Jackson throwing once more, being chased out left. Looking for Aguilar, and it's intercepted. Brandon Jones picking it off. And the Dolphins are going to take possession of the football. An unfortunate sequence there, trying to get points before intermission, but now the interception, and their opponents have a chance to possibly pad their lead.
Yeah, they had an opportunity there, and they weren't able to capitalize on it, and that's something that could come back and haunt them later. They're begging their defense now to keep them from scoring before the half ends.
Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete. After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Back to the air on 2nd down, Thompson. This will be caught. It's Waddle. And they're going to be set up down around the 15-yard line. So after the big play, look at this, all the way down at the 15 now on 1st and 10. And we're going to get a timeout with 2 seconds remaining in the second quarter. So with 2 ticks left here in the half, on is the field goal unit. And now we'll get a late timeout as it comes in the waning moments of quarter number 2. So even though it's first down, here's the field goal unit on now to try to get 3 before halftime. This just 32 yards officially from the right hash. And this one is right through. And that will do it for this first half. So we reach halftime here in a 10-point game. As we'll head down to Orlando, that's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. Welcome back. Halftime over. We are ready for quarter number 3. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gordon. The Ravens set to receive the football, trailing here as we resume action in the third quarter. Duvernay now going to bring it out. And the decision to come out of the end zone is going to cost him 5 yards as he's taken down right at the 20. The Baltimore offense at the line, set to get going. Well, the first half, they struggled a little bit to keep pace offensively, CD, down 2 scores here. So how do they make some changes coming out of the locker room?
Well, they've studied what they did in the first half. They've seen what the defense has thrown at them. Now they want to have a plan of attack against it. So you come out, you're not going to get all the points back on one drive, but get started on it. Start chopping into that lead, and maybe it'll inspire your defense to help out as well.
Now Dobbins again on 2nd down. And he'll get about 3 up past the 25. Now they struggled to get him rolling on the ground in the first half, and that's sort of continuing here in the third quarter.
Yeah, but I don't think it's time to abandon the running game. I would say keep feeding the horse, and I believe he'll eventually reward them, especially as we get deeper in the game.
And he's got room. And he's going to be out of bounds right at midfield. 49 yards rushing now on 8 carries for him so far.
First downs have not come easy, and neither have runs like this throughout this game.
Absolutely not. He finally felt like, whoa, a sigh of relief. We got something going in the running game. From midfield now, here's Jackson. And that one's going to be off target and incomplete.
Another attempt, another incompletion, and when I look at the scoreboard and where we are in this game, it comes to mind that they have to start getting the ball in the hands of their playmakers. Throw it to the guys that maybe can take a short pass and turn it into a long gain or make people miss downfield. They've got to have points, and the guys who can put the ball in the end zone, they're the ones that need to touch the ball.
Oh, and for the 3rd time, Jackson going to be intercepted. Picked up by Xavier Howard. And the Dolphins are going to take over at their own 41.
Well, I certainly think that we're seeing a big reason why this team has struggled to put points on the board so far, because too many of their drives have ended in turnovers already, and we still have almost a full half of football yet to play.
The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. The throw over the middle taken in. And the play goes nowhere. Losing yardage back near the 40 at the 39. That one unable to develop, never got going. A loss of a couple, and it's 2nd down. They'll run right side with Mostert. And he tried to bounce it outside, but they'll stop him behind the line. 3rd down, now even tougher. 3rd and 13 after that loss of a yard. Not an easy spot here. They'll be in search of 13 yards to try to pick up the first. And now maybe they want some extra time to talk about this 3rd and long play as we'll get a timeout. It's just their first, so 2 remaining as they burn one here in this 3rd quarter. And defensively, Baltimore's in a dime look here on third. Third and long, Thompson. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
And those two just haven't been in sync thus far. They've done a nice job against him, but still, with his talent, you would expect him to have more completions to him in this game.
The Dolphins will send out the punter now, as he'll punt it away for the second time. Fielded just inside the 20. A 40-yard punt, give him 3 on the return, and they will take over 1st and 10. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. As this offense takes the field against CD, remember last drive they were moving the football, but then they threw that costly interception, so we'll see if they can right the ship here on this drive.
And doesn't that just sum up football? We see it all the time, don't we? The defense goes from losing the battle to making a huge play and stealing the momentum. So you know they're riding high right now, and they're ready to challenge this offense and that quarterback one more time.
And we'll see if the offense is up for that challenge here as things start to get more interesting here in this second half. And the Dolphins rush gets home. Down he goes. Emmanuel Ogbah picks up his second sack of the afternoon. Now after that sack, it's 3rd and long for Jackson and the Ravens. Looking to throw. That's complete. It's Devin Duvernay. And they'll get it all the way up about 5 yards shy of midfield. A really nice gain of 25 yards. On 1st and 10, it's Jackson. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked up by Jalen Ramsey. And the Dolphins are going to take over here up near the 40. They exited the pocket trying to improvise. That was a tough throw, and unfortunately, it wound up in the wrong pair of hands.
And Brandon, when you're on the run, sometimes your downfield vision can get skewed just a bit. Now, the beauty of extending a play is sometimes your receivers find their way open, but oftentimes you end up closing down part of the field and bringing those defenders to the ball, and that one was picked off.
Second down, here's Mostert again. Oh, he's got a little daylight. And all the way in for a Miami touchdown. Good start to the season for him. He had the touchdown last week in the opener and a second one in week 2 now.
How about the pace he's already established, right? Not sure he can keep it up for an entire season, but don't burst the bubble because he thinks that he can.
Do guys go into a season with a goal for touchdown scored or yardage? What do you think?
I think every single one of the guys who's going to touch the football, they all have those types of goals. They all have those types of thoughts. And then they just have to see how the season unfolds if they can stay with it.
Unfolding so far so good for him. And his kick is good, but flags come in. Looks like we're going to get a roughing call here on the follow-through.
Jake Bailey set to kick off.
Bailey now to kick it away after the touchdown. Duvernay now going to bring it out. The lane opens here. He's past the 30. And a great return. Solid field position. He's up all the way to the 45-yard line.
We all know that teams never want to use the word panic. But if they expect to win this game, it has to start right here, right now. That return just set them up for points, and it needs to be a touchdown, not a field goal.
Here's a throw to his running back. It's complete. On the move past the 40. And the tackle going to be made at the 38.
We can talk all we want about football being a game of strength and brawn. It's also a game of mismatches, and they're trying to create one there, getting it to their back out of the backfield to make a bigger play.
As we often say, get it to him in space, let him use his leg.
Yeah, if he can get a matchup against a linebacker or maybe a defensive end dropping out in a zone blitz, he's going to win that battle just about every time.
Looking to throw again on second down. Jackson, a swing pass here to Edwards. And they'll work this down inside the 30.
That might feel like a little bit of a lost opportunity there for the offense because the defense brought pressure that time. And sometimes against that, you can get out to your running back, and it can turn into a big gain downfield. But what a nice job they did getting to him quickly and holding him to a short gain.
And boy, he is very close to a first down, but from where they're spotting that football, he's going to be a foot or so short.
Hey, out. Go.
They're going for it with Dolphins. And he's able to pick up the first before he's taken down at the 27. No reason not to try it there, and they do indeed convert on fourth. The fourth down run successful. Now they look to pay it off on first down. A throw there, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
They lead big, and a major part of that has been how they've taken their play to a whole new level this second half. No points allowed since the break, and you can add another incompletion to the total number that they forced in this runaway contest.
An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Now Jackson. Rolling to his, and he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. Jalen Phillips, the outside linebacker, coming up to drop him for a loss of a full 10 yards. Now after that sack, it's 3rd and long for Jackson and the Ravens. They'll look to throw here. He's got it complete to Aguilar. And he'll be taken down at about the 22-yard line. Here we go. It's Jackson on 4th down. Short pass tip, but caught anyway. And now this is going to be close. The defense says they stopped him, and they did. On the ground, it's Mostert to start the drive. And just no chance of turning the corner. He can only get back to the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 10 coming up. Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again, 2nd and 10. Thompson to throw on 2nd down. And they'll get this on the screen to Mostert. And this one will go to the 28-yard line. 9 yards, and that leaves him just short, so it'll be 3rd and less than a yard. They'll try and run here with Mostert. No gain there on the play, and that's going to leave him with a 4th down. That time they're able to bottle him up, but he's having a really nice game.
I agree with that. Let's just go big picture, right? Every back that's in the Hall of Fame had carries where they didn't gain yardage or they lost yardage, but you stick with them, don't you? When they're having a good game, keep feeding them.
It's a quarterback sneak. And he'll be touched out here, but not before he does pick up the first. They only got a couple, but a couple's all that they needed as they convert on 4th.
I think in this situation, all you want to do is make sure your guys are set up front. No one jumps, no penalties. Sometimes you don't even call cadence, just go and pick it up.
Yeah, because it's on them. I mean, the quarterback's job's pretty easy there.
It really is. You talk about inches, just go get it.
Things looking much rosier for them here in week 2. They work with the lead as they've got it 1st and 10. And room to run as he's up past the 35-yard line. 109 yards rushing for him now as he has been tremendous all day long. Starting to become a tough spot for this defense. You're down 4th quarter, looking a little fatigued maybe on that side of the ball.
Partner, we've seen this before, haven't we? Because every coach we've ever talked to says body language is important. And now you're seeing guys with their hands on their hips, they're bent over, hands on their knees. And the offensive guys are just saying, let's just keep running it out. And we've got them now.
On 2nd down, Mostert. And he'll have a Dolphins 1st down as he'll get this up to about the 42. No doubt those are the types of carries they're looking for here, Charles. The lead in the fourth quarter. This is when coaches that have a reliable running game, they breathe a little easier on the sideline.
Yeah, they love the idea that they can take the air out of the football at this point of the game. That means they're really counting on that offensive line, counting on the runners, taking care of the football. Because you're going to tell your quarterback, hey, no time to be a hero. We're not going to throw it here. Just eat up that clock. And if you have the ball, they can't score.
And a good run here as he'll rumble all the way down to the 40-yard line. 2 minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports. So the Dolphins have it as we welcome you back in. And you'd have to figure they're just looking to burn these final 2 minutes away and get out of here with a victory. Now they turn to Thompson to throw it. And he finds Tyler Croft. And all the way in for a Miami touchdown. Tyler Croft, his first touchdown of the new season, as his guys have opened up a very comfortable lead. Extra point safely through, and the lead is now 24.
Dolphins 27, Ravens 3. Jake Bailey set to kick off.
Bailey now to kick it away after the touchdown. No run back here for Duvernay. Touchback out to the 25. The Baltimore offense at the line, set to get going. Where we stand right now in the fourth quarter, this one pretty much out of reach. And, Charles, I know they're going to be disappointed about several things with this ball game, but the self-inflicted wounds, they've had several turnovers. You would have to think that's going to be something they're going to discuss heavily in the film session in the coming days.
You're absolutely right about that, partner, because they're going to have to sit in that film room and watch every error that they made and figure out how to not do it in the future. And mentally, I think a lot of the guys are already starting to think about, okay, how do we put this behind us and get better for the next time out? This, they'll use as motivation for the rest of the time that they play to hopefully never be in this type of situation again.
And now again, the play clock's going to run out on him. Play action. It's Jackson. And now here is another interception. Picked up by Xavier Howard. And the Dolphins are going to take possession of the football. I think you and I were a little surprised back earlier in the game when he threw his second interception. I mean, who would have thought a quarterback of his caliber picked now 5 times?
It's beyond stunning to me because we're used to that with maybe a quarterback with less experience or less talent. But a quarterback of his caliber, I can't believe what we've just seen.
Absolutely. If you would have told me this coming into the ball game, I would have said never, not in a million years. But here we go. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. 144 yards rushing for him now as his sensational afternoon continues.
Well, that's a carry they have to be satisfied with. And throughout this game, they've been satisfied with what he's given them. Whenever they've needed a big run, a first down, He's the guy they've turned to, and it doesn't matter what the defense thinks. They feel like they've got the confidence to keep handing it to him and keep picking up good yardage.
On first down, they go with Mostert again.
And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. Second and right at a yard. Didn't get to the sticks, but that's an ideal carry there on first down, isn't it?
I mean, now you're 2nd and 1. Although, you know, in the NFL, even if he picked up the first down, I don't think it's a big difference because the clock doesn't stop.
Yeah, not like college.
Right. If it's college football, you want to 2nd and 1 is probably better than picking up the first down because in college football, the clock stops with every first down and actually aids the defense in that situation.
Again, they'll run it with Mostert. And he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly.
So he's had a nose for the end zone here in the early part of this season. 2 touchdowns for him now in this one to go along with the one he had in the opener as well.
Yeah, he certainly finds where the goal line is and finds a way to get across it. But you know who else senses it? The guys that block for him. Because he has that instinct, I think they hold their blocks just a little bit longer.
No problem there on the extra point. And this one was over a while ago as they just add on to that big lead.
Ravens 3. Jake Bailey set to kick off.
Bailey now to kick it away after the touchdown.
Duvernay going to sit on this in the end zone, so it'll come out to the 25.
The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. They've lost this one. Their offense has struggled. Do they try to put together something here at the end just to take into next week?
Yeah, sometimes teams want to do that and coaches want to. I remember one time I was on a team and we were losing late in the game like this, and you knew it was lost. It was over, right? And the coach called a running play and pretty much said to everyone, I want to see something executed well before we get out of here. And that was the message to the team.
And my goodness, another interception.
Picked up by Jalen Ramsey. And the Dolphins are going to take possession of the football.
They'll take over first and 10 at the 41-yard line.
The defense can stop it twice more as they take a knee here. So now with 6 seconds remaining, we get a timeout on the field. And they take a knee. Ravens going to use their 3rd and final timeout. And as the two teams talk it over on their respective sidelines, we take a break. And they'll indeed take a knee.
Well, this was a really nice display, Charles, of complimentary football, especially how much they were humming in the second half to pull away.